Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Mr. Mxyzptlk. He made his very first appearance in Superman Volume 1, issue number 30, that was released in September of 1944. His real name is unpronounceable in any human language, but some also pronounce his name Mxyzptlk, or he quite often just goes by Mx. He's an extremely powerful yet immature fifth-dimensional imp, having variable height and weight while having black eyes and white hair, although he's balding. Now, I can't stress how powerful Mxyzptlk is, his fifth-dimensional nature giving him the ability to bend reality itself in ways that only those of the fifth dimension can truly understand. He can basically do anything he imagines to anyone or anything that is beneath his power level. Which it needs to be said that in the DC universe, there's very few beings that are above his power level. Mxyzptlk has been shown to manipulate all forms of physics and matter, as well as being able to easily move through space, time, and multiple dimensions. Dude can animate inanimate objects, as well as create life itself from nothing. Not to mention that he could make anything or anyone disappear completely with just a thought. But since he's such a jokester, he really wouldn't do that. Oh, and he happens to be immortal. And funny enough, it's even been hinted at the fact that he is the Impossible Man from the Marvel 616 universe, showing that he potentially has knowledge of and has explored every known universe. The only weaknesses that Mxyzptlk has are basically the rules that he himself sets up to his little games, being bound to whatever parameters he sets for him to be sent back to his fifth dimension. One of them famously being the pronunciation of his name backwards, which happens to be Kilp-ill-skim. The only other weakness that he has is a personality flaw that leans towards him being extremely prankish, specifically loving to mess with Superman, although he will settle to mess with the other Justice League heroes. Now, Mxyzptlk first encountered Superman when Supes first moved into his Metropolis apartment after he found work at the Daily Star, which was the precursor to the Daily Planet's newspaper. When Superman, aka Clark Kent's landlady named Mrs. Nyxly, first mentioned her husband, she referred to him as a stage conjurer who went by the name Mystic Mr. XXX. She told Clark that a jealous rival magician messed up one of his tricks and that landed him in a coma for the last 7 years. But Mrs. Nyxly wasn't telling the total truth. In reality, she was actually a princess from the fifth dimension named Gsptlnz. Her husband, Mr. Mxyzptlk, had actually been her father's royal sorcerer, who had beaten out the former court magician named Lord Vyndktvx. This enraged Vyndktvx, who then lashed out, but accidentally killed Gsptlnz's father. Then fearing for her own life, she secretly fled to Earth, leaving behind her love, Mr. Mxyzptlk. But Mxyzptlk's crazy self would eventually find his way to Earth. From here, he would have multiple adventures, playing irritatingly huge-scale and dangerous practical jokes on Superman and other heroes. Over time, he would even come up against Lex Luthor, as well as do battle with a recreation of Doomsday that he himself created. There have been very few to get over on Mxyzptlk that were not playing along with his games. Jor-El, under the guise of Mr. Oz, was one of them, actually capturing him in a transdimensional trap that would keep him stuck for a long time. Yet, out of all of his shenanigans, I have to note that there is one being that he truly feared. For whatever reason, he did not like to draw the ire of Dr. Manhattan. Now, due to his powers and abilities, and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Mr. Mxyzptlk a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.